What's going on, guys? Welcome back to another video. In this video, we're going to be talking about Senseonics, ticker symbol SENS, and how they were recently downgraded by SVB Leerink, but this institution actually maintained their previous price target. So we're going to go over all of the information that we have about this downgrade, and I'm going to explain how this is going to affect the share price of Senseonics going forward. We're also going to go over the FDA approval date schedule so you guys can gain some better insight on when we are exactly going to see the 180-day eversense XL approved in the United States, and when we could expect to see these sales start to come in. And you can't forget, we still have to deal with this short interest and short squeeze situation with Senseonics. They have an extremely high short interest, and it's being misrepresented on all of the different data sources that we are looking at. So I'm going to show you guys exactly how I think that the short interest for Senseonics is much higher than we are seeing on all of these different data sites. So before we get into all of that information, if you guys would like to earn 2 free stocks with Webull, which is the brokerage that you guys see on screen in all of my videos, these 2 free stocks are valued up to $1,850. All you have to do to get this free money is click on that link down below in my description. All you have to do is sign up, deposit over $100, and you get those 2 free stocks. Now, this is also a great way for you guys to help out and support the channel if you guys would like, because when you get your 2 free stocks, I also get a free stock as well. And if you guys enjoy the information and analysis that I provide for you guys in these videos, make sure you go down and hit that like button. It costs you nothing to do it, but it really helps me out a whole lot in getting this information out to as many people as possible. And if you never want to miss another one of these videos, make sure you hit that subscribe button and turn on that notification bell so you're notified every time I post a new video, so you get to stay up to date on all of your favorite stocks, learn about a couple of new ones, and see exactly which options I am trading and which strategies I am using to trade them. So when we look at the chart of Senseonics, they had a very significant sell-off from their highs in the $5.50 range and bottomed out around $1.90. Now they've since bounced up into the $2 range, and we did see a little bit of a sell-off over the past week or so. So on the day that I am recording this, this is April 1st, and Senseonics fell about 2.27% throughout the day, and in the after hours trading period, they are up that pretty similar amount, 2.71%. So they fell 6 cents throughout the day and are up 7 cents in the after hours trading period. So it was a pretty flat day for Senseonics, but let's talk about this FDA approval schedule. So what we're expecting is that the FDA is going to start reviewing the Senseonics actual application on April 15th. Now, since the FDA has already seen the original eversense, the 90-day model, Senseonics has come out and said that they are expecting that the actual time to get approved for the 180-day eversense is going to be a lot less than it typically takes. So typically it takes between 8 to 12 months, and Senseonics is expecting 6 to 8 months is going to be the expected approval date for the eversense. Now, they have also come out and said that within 30 days of FDA approval, Ascensia can start the commercialization of the 180-day model in the United States. So it's going to move very quick right after the FDA approval comes in. Now, it's been a pretty slow last couple of weeks in terms of news for Senseonics. Previously, we had a lot of these different conferences come out, a lot of news about the 180-day eversense, the partnership with Ascensia. We were getting news a lot over a small time period, which really helped shoot Senseonics up to this $5.50 range. Now, we have not seen much news come out about this company, and but the only news that we did receive was this downgrade. So when we come over here, we can see that on April 1st, 2021, SVB Leerink downgraded to market perform with a price target of $3. Now, this is still a pretty significant upside from where Senseonics is currently trading. I do think that over the years, Senseonics is going to get into the double digits very fast once the 180-day model is approved, and we are going to start seeing the actual sales numbers. We've seen market data for where continuous glucose monitoring systems are going to go in the future. There is a really high demand for this, and if Senseonics can cement themselves as one of the key players in this market, they are competing with Dexcom, but once they cement themselves at the top 2 or 3 places in terms of market share, Senseonics' valuation is going to shoot, and I do think that we could see $10 in the next 2 years. So let's get into this short interest situation. I find it incredibly interesting. It has a lot to do with dark pools, over-the-counter trading. in data misrepresentation. So now when we come over here, we can see that on MarketWatch, they have the short interest percentage of the float at 31%. Now, when we move over to MarketBeat, we can see that they have the percentage of shares shorted at 18.25%. Now, if you guys didn't know, to report short interest, the firms that are shorting companies report to the different regulatory institutions the number themselves. There is no checking going on. They just self-report the data, and we've seen fines for misreporting the short interest data of, at the most, I think the highest I've seen the fine from all of my research is $1 million. So even if the fines were $50 million, it is in the best interest of all of these institutions that are aggressively shorting companies, whether they're doing it legally or with naked short selling, to blatantly lie to the public so that they can artificially shoot the actual price down, or make it seem to retail investors that there's not as much of a short interest in the company anymore, so people will stop freaking out about a short squeeze. Now, here is some evidence for this. So when we come over to the OTC transparency data, this is going to be the alternative trading systems data. So this is going to represent the dark pool. So this is UBS's dark pool. In the last trading period, they traded about 2 million shares. And then this Crossfinder is actually Credit Suisse's dark pool. And that's actually the biggest dark pool in the world, and they only traded about 568,000 shares. Now, this is a volume number, so we don't know if these are buys, sells, shorts, or if they're even holding these shares or executing them on behalf of others. This is just a total gross amount of shares traded. Now, what's even more interesting is that when we come over to the over-the-counter non-ATS data, which ATS, remember from before, is alternative trading systems, we can see that Citadel Securities traded 333.7 million shares. Now, you do have to keep in mind that Citadel is the clearinghouse and market maker for Robinhood, Webull, and a lot of these other different brokerages. So a lot of these trades could be getting pushed to Citadel, and they are executing the trades. But 333 million shares to go just through Citadel is an extreme amount. We also see 2 Sigma, Jane Street Capital, UBS Securities. The main takeaway from this data, in my opinion, is that there's so much going on behind the scenes. So over-the-counter data and dark pool data is not directly accessible by the public. Now, there's a reason for this. The main reason why some of the institutions would use dark pools is for anonymity. So when they go to make a massive, let's say they're taking out an extremely bullish position on Tesla. If Tesla was a very easily manipulated stock, just for the purposes of this example, and another institution got wind of another hedge fund taking out a long position and they had a vendetta against them, they could come in and aggressively short that stock and send the price of the actual stock down, which would hurt the other hedge funds. So dark pools allow these different firms to make super big trades anonymously without completely moving the market. So bringing it back to the key takeaway from this data is that we don't know. There is so much going on behind the scenes, and there's an incentive for these institutions to misrepresent data. Now, we do have a very substantial event coming up in the future for Senseonics. So we do have their FDA approval. Now, I do want to be a little bit cautious because sometimes when an event is expected to happen, especially like an FDA approval, once it actually happens, there could be a substantial sell the news event. We saw this happen with Zomedica when they announced their first commercialization of the Truforma. So when we come over to the chart of ZOM, we can see that basically in the middle of March, they had a significant sell-off. Right here was the actual day that they did it. They went from 270 all the way down to 230. So that's a significant decrease in the share price of this company, and they've been falling ever since. Now, Zomedica was a little bit more speculative because nobody really knows what that technology is going to be used for or where it could go in the future. And Senseonics has more of a base in their market, but I do think that it is still possible for a sell the news event to happen. But if there is not, and there is a rally after this FDA approval comes out, we could see a pretty big short squeeze in Senseonics if MarketWatch over here has the data correct at a short percentage of float, or a percentage of float right here of 31.77%. Now, we don't really know what the actual and true short interest is going to be because all of these different data sources are getting jumbled together and the self-reporting is not making it any easier. But I am still bullish on Senseonics Senseonics for the long term. I do think that they could be a key player in the continuous glucose monitoring market and are set to have a great 2021 and 2022 with the release of their 180-day model in the United States and their plans to bring out a 1-year, 365-day eversense. So that is going to wrap up this update on Senseonics. If you guys enjoyed this video, make sure you go down and hit that like button. Again, it costs you nothing to do it, but it really helps me get this information out to as many people as possible. And if you guys want to see more videos like this, make sure you hit that subscribe button and turn on that notification bell so you're notified every time I post a new video, so you get to stay up to date on all of your favorite stocks, learn about a couple of new ones, and see exactly which options I am trading and which strategies I am using to trade them. So I hope you guys are having a great long weekend, and I'll see you guys in the next video.